What up, guys? So, tonight I'm going to hit on pressure washing, quoting, pricing. How much do we charge? What do we charge? Where do we go from? And all of those good points that we get to deal with when we're dealing with pricing. And so, pricing is one of those things that a lot of people struggle with. And it is one of the most critical things that we can deal with our business. It is important that we know what we're charging, so that way, when we deal with our customers, we're being profitable at the end of the day. And so, I'm going to hit on some things. I'm also going to hit on some things that I've seen this week, and that's what brought this back up. I'm going to go over a job that I seen somebody else quote, and I'll talk about how they were low and what factors we got to remember when we're dealing with how much do we charge for pressure washing. Also got two other questions I got asked, and I'm going to hit on those. One is when should I start my pressure washing business? Should I start it now? Should I wait till spring? What should I do? I'll hit on that. And then another one that I get asked all the time is what CRM can I hit? So I'm going to hit on these three questions tonight. The biggest question I'm going to hit on is pricing and stuff like that. So we got Indigo in the house. How you doing tonight? And so we're going to make this fun, and I want you to be profitable at the end of the day. So DJ and I go to church in the middle of nowhere. It's called Big Bone Baptist, where we go to church at. And they had the steeple up there, and they have a little cupola, and they had a bunch of dirty concrete. And it'd been driving me crazy every time I go to church there. And so I'm like, I know there's a lot of people that do steeple cleaning and quoting, and they don't know how to quote a lot of times. And so I was like, what, I can get, I probably ended up getting about 10 videos out of this one job at the church. And so I went there, and I had told the pastor probably 6 months ago that I would clean it for him. And so at the time I was busy, and I've been trying to get 10 things going. I had 2 trips to Raleigh I had to do for training and get ready for it, because I redid my course, and I was just getting busy. And so when I got there, he was like, actually, we was talking to a company to come clean the steeple and the cupola. And I'm like, really? That's interesting. So I was like, I'll clean it here for free today. I'm just going to get all the video off of it, so that way I can have videos for you all, so you can, know how to do stuff, how to clean a steeple, how to be safe on a roof, how to, do concrete clean. So I got all kinds of good videos out of it. So I was like, what were they going to charge to clean the cupola? Now, I want to let you know that this place is in the middle of nowhere. And when I mean in the middle of nowhere, it's about, from the company that bid what they priced, it's about probably 40 minutes away. So they're going to have to drive 45 minutes to get there. They're going to have to do the job and then drive 45 minutes back. And so I was like, well, what are they going to charge? And he's like, $225. I'm like, what? They were only going to charge $225? I mean, this is, it's getting cold, so my downstreaming didn't even work for me. I had to end up using a stronger mix because it wasn't warm enough. The cupola took me almost 2 hours. The steeple took me an hour. But now I did do a bunch of other cleaning and doing video, and I understand that takes time. But they would have probably been there, an hour and a half, 2 hours to clean these 2 things and to charge $225. And I'm like, that's the video I got to talk about again. I know I talk about charging a lot, but I want to hit on, we can't be profitable at $225, guys. That's just, as a pressure washing business, that is going to be hard to make it. And so this is what I'm talking about, of why we need to charge, why we need to upsell, why we need to get our tickets up. I'm in BBB, and there's a lot of the guys in there that are doing very well, and they're all raising their prices 20, 30% right now, because that's what we have to do. And the one dude raised his price 25% and has seen zero on his closing rate. Like, it hasn't went up or down. He's still closing at the same price, even after a 25% 25% increase. So this is important to understand. And then I went and seen my friend Benjamin up in Dayton today, and we were talking. I was going around to his big job he got, and he quoted it for a lot of money, and everybody else was pretty much half of what he quoted it for. But he ended up getting it because he didn't make a big white spot on the building because they're trying to use muriatic acid, because, we have people that don't understand that you just don't use muriatic acid on anything. In fact, I'd tell you not to use it on anything. But they had these big white spots, and then that's not what she wanted. He was a lot more expensive, but it's taken him a lot longer than he would have thought it would have took. So the first building is taking him almost 2 weeks, where he thought it was only going to take about a week and a half. And so these are some things that you got to remember when we are bidding and when we are quoting. So I see we got all kinds of people on here. We got Miss Pink. How you doing? We got Charles in the house from Dallas or Fort Worth. We got old man Brian Fletcher from Tennessee. What's up, Jason? So we got all kinds of people in here tonight. We got Jason Huffner from if I do a small ticket job, it's at the end of the day of a large ticket job, of the $99 guy. And so these are all, these are some things that we have to do. So the first thing we need to do is we need to look at, and we need to charge based on size of the property, or even kind of how dirty it is. We're going to need to charge, whether we charge per square foot or by the hour, any which way we can do to be able to get our prices up. So I always like charging, you could do, 30, 40 cents a square foot for the house. You could do, our minimum was $300. And we went up from there, and then if it was a bigger house, I would go up. So $300 was basically a 1,500 square foot house or smaller, so nothing big at all. And then I went up from there after that. So these are some things that we got to look at and how to get our pricing to go higher. And so, if we are doing commercial work, a lot of times we're going to try to charge by the hour plus a little bit more for materials and lifts and different things along those lines. So when we're doing commercial, we really do need to see how long is it going to take us. Maybe add a little bit more just in case the something goes not as planned. And we'd rather be higher than lower. A lot of times we get to the point of where we are, well, I don't know if they're going to go for that. Well, you know what? If they don't go for it, then you're not going to lose out. And so these are some reasons why we need to base on that. And when we're talking about this, this is, my goal is to shoot for $300 an hour. And this is not with taxes. This is before taxes. So some states has to pay sales tax. So Kentucky, just about 2 or 3 years ago, passed a law that we had to start paying for sales tax, and pressure washers fall under the sales tax. So if you got to pay sales tax, now we're looking at $900 plus sales tax of 6.5%. So these are some things that we got to remember what we're doing to be able to do that. Again, we need to set a minimum. If we don't set a minimum, this can help us. I've heard people on phone calls and they're like, well, I got this one spot, and they're like, well, no, just be like, all right, that falls under our minimum. That'll be $300. That's all we got to say. We don't got to go down the line of, well, we're kind of expensive to clean that. Well, you know what? If that woman wants that little 5x5 patio clean and she wants you to do it because you were recommended to her, then you get the $300 and you move on. That's just the way it is. If she wants it, if not, we can say, that's going to fall under our minimum. It's $300. That's all we got to say and move on. Now, if you get to the job and there's some other little things you can clean up a little bit, just to be more than just 10 minutes there to clean it and be gone, then we can do that. But, these are some things we got to look at to be able to be successful. Because if we don't set our minimum high enough, basically we'll get loaded down. So last year, talking about Benjamin, I like Benjamin because he's been very successful. But Benjamin was talking about how he's been quoting higher and higher prices. He's booked out a month. He's losing $750,000 jobs for a $300 job because that's what he bid it earlier, or $250, because that's what he bid it earlier. And so, that's why we do, a lot of times, even in the pressure washing Christmas sites, we'll go cheap and we'll get our schedule full. Well, you're not going to get your schedule full by going cheap, because when you go cheap, you lose some things out. First off, you don't have no money to do marketing. And marketing is more important than anything. Marketing is the number one key to growing your business. Because if we can't put money into our business, then how are we going to grow our business? If you think equipment and pretty stuff and I get referrals, starting out, you're not going to get enough referrals to keep you busy. That's not going to be the case. Now, you get 3, 4, 5 years in, the referrals just roll right in after another one. If you've done your work and you've done your homework and you give magnets out on the refrigerators and you do things so that way they know who you are and you keep mind of ticket. So these are some things that we have to do that. We have to understand the value of our time and our services. What are you worth? What are some things? Why are you worth this much? Because, if we don't understand what our time is worth, then how do we know what to charge of what's our time worth, and what's their time worth? What's our customer's time worth? Is their customer time worth 4 hours of going out pressure washing and missing their soccer game, missing their baseball game, missing their kids' football game? No, probably not. And is their time worth them going out there and working and then can't move for 3 days because they tried to pressure wash their house and they fell off the ladder and they broke an arm and now they can't work for 6 months? So they got to remember and understand what your time is worth and what their time is worth. And so them are some things that we can do. And then, as always, as I always preach, we have to do packages. We have to get our average ticket up. The higher we get our average ticket up, Jason put, I love my $900 to $2,000 tickets. You don't get a $900 to $2,000 ticket by only doing a house wash. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, but it's very rarely that you're going to get a $2,000 house wash, once a month, once every 6 months. Now, will you get a $2,000 driveway cleaning, house wash, roof clean? Absolutely. And that's what our goal is. If we do those packages, people will pay that money. So packages are very important. Whether you're adding that package into the side of packages of house wash, roof clean, window cleaning, driveway cleaning, deck cleaning, any of those things. And we can do packages in different things. And I know I always show ResponsiBid, pressurewashhelp.com/ResponsiBid. I don't even think there's a link in the description on that today because my computer was acting stupid and wouldn't put it all down there. But, you can do packages. I preach it for a reason. The reason why I preach packages is because it's about getting these $900 to $2,000 tickets. And when we get these 3-4 times a week and get that, we can get our average up of a $1,500 day, and we do that 5 days a week, there you go. We're making some money. Even if you can get it up to $1,000 in the $5,000, $20,000, how many in here would be happy with $1,000 day, 5 days a week for a month? $20,000. What would that do for your business? What would that do for you? What would that do for your lifestyle? If you could do $20,000 in 1 month, that's how we get to that. That's how we do it. And so is it easy? I'm not saying it's easy. I never have said it's easy. Now, is it doable? 100%. How do we do it? We got to keep getting that phone to ring. How do we get the phone to ring? More marketing, more marketing. Equipment doesn't get our phone to ring. Equipment helps us do the job a little bit faster, but this, in the beginning, will not grow your business. And so just remember that when we're doing that. So let me go to number 2 question. Actually, somebody wrote it in here. So Jason, at this point, I'm gathering information stage, reading books, watching, learning. I'm about 80%, and I'm a solo. I live in Midwest Missouri. It's winter's around the corner. I'm looking for some advice. Would it be good to purchase equipment and start advertising the business? I have to go through all the steps of starting my business through the state and local agencies. And that seems fairly easy. I don't want to advertise and then get a possible job and not have everything in order. Do you think my equipment now and waiting until March of next year to start advertising is a good idea? I'm totally new to the industry. So this is a question for all you new guys that are just starting out. Maybe you're thinking about starting out. You can start advertising now. And what I mean by that is and do all, we got to get our Google My Business up. We got to get our Facebook. If we're going to use Facebook, we got to start posting in Facebook, start liking in groups. Now, I'm not saying nothing about, I never did say we got to post about pressure washing. But we're going to start posting to get reactions and to get the algorithm to start following us. Because when we do start talking about pressure washing and the algorithm's being nice to us, it will show us to everybody. But if we don't do that, it's going to show us to nobody. So these are some things that we can do. We can get our LinkedIn going. Again, all this stuff is free right now. This is the important stuff that we can do that doesn't cost us a thing other than time. And if you're in wintertime and you need something to do after your full-time job at night because you don't want to sit there unless you're just going to sit there and waste your time watching TV, that does you no good, does not get you out of your current job that you want to get out of. So these are some things that we can do. So Google My Business, get your 100 pictures up there. Get your Google My Business, get your Facebook, get your LinkedIn going. Get your Nextdoor going. There's lots of things we can do to start doing that. We can start doing some networking. We can go to maybe some networking groups and, start meeting people and start letting them know that, hey, in the spring, I'm going to start my pressure washing business. Equipment wise, if you, so some things about what you should be able to, I'm pretty sure you can, but you might want to ask your CPA. I'm not a certified accountant or nothing. If you're buying equipment this year, make sure you hold all your receipts so that way you can write it off the next year. You could write it off in 2022. Even if we hadn't started a business, because then we can write all that off in there. And even for marketing, if we are going to do anything, paying for a website and doing different things of that kind of stuff, then them are some things that we can make sure that we do so that way we can keep all that safe and keep all that and get it going. And because, I don't want you to go out now and buy when I actually started, I went and it was actually February, or it was actually in late fall when I went to my convention that I went to. It was in Alabama. And then that winter, I actually started building my equipment. I built my trailer in the wintertime, and then when the spring. So if I knew what I knew now, what I knew then, I would have really started pushing marketing. I pushed no marketing. I didn't get no jobs in the beginning because I didn't do my marketing stuff that I needed to do because I didn't know. And so, I would have my signs ready to go out, March 1st, that all my signs, if the weather's not bad, I'd have them out in February. And these are some things that we can do so that way when Old Man Winter does break, we can be ready to rock and roll. When does Old Man Winter be ready to break? When you can start mowing your grass. When is that? Who knows? Sometimes it's March 1st. Sometimes it's April 15th. And so, but we need to be ready. And if we don't do our marketing stuff that I was talking about, Google My Business, all of that kind of stuff, Facebook, and if we're going to do the free stuff, or, if we don't do that now and we wait till March, well, now we're going to be trying to do pressure washing, and we forget about the marketing side of it. We forget about that kind of stuff. So get your Google My Business 100%, and then get doing Facebook posts, start doing your LinkedIn, start liking people on LinkedIn, start doing your LinkedIn, and then that way when spring comes, you'll be ahead of the game. If we wait till March, we're not going to be ahead of the game, because then we're not going to be we're still learning how to do that stuff. If we do that stuff now in the fall and in the wintertime when there's nothing else to do but watch television and be bored about that stuff is what we can do. So when spring does come, that phone's going to start ringing off the hook, and you'll be ready to rock and roll. So that was that question. My other question was, what CRM would I recommend? This is one of those questions that, there's lots of CRMs, and so a CRM is a customer relationship management. So basically, if somebody calls you, you're going to put all this information in the CRM, and when you do that with the CRM, then that way you have their information. We can email them. We can do all different kinds of things with it, and so by doing that, this will give us information, so that way we can keep contact with them. It'll keep track, some CRMs will keep track of your jobs, everything it is. So there's lots of different CRMs out there. You got Marquette, you got Customer Factor. Those are the cheaper ones. Customer Factor is clunky. It looks like it was built in 89, and I think it was built in 89. They've been saying they got an update coming for about 3 years now, and so that's where that is. Marquette's kind of the new cheap one out there on the game. It's kind of the a la carte of we're going to nickel and dime you instead of just charging you all up front. We're going to charge you this, but if you want this feature, it's another $5, $10 a month. And so, it's one of those things of we're going to nickel and dime you until you're still going to pay probably the same amount, but we're going to nickel and dime you until you get there. Customer Factor or House Call Pro, you got a lower model, you got a higher end program. It works nice. It's a little bit on the better side of things. I know a lot of people that use Customer Factor, they love it. Now, their customer service hasn't been as good here lately. Their customer service kind of went down the drain. They used to be I think they might have sold off or something, but their customer service isn't like it used to be. And then you got Jobber. Jobber's more of your Cadillac, more of the nicer one. Again, you got, they do have a smaller model and they have a higher model. You can go to pressurewashhelp.com/jobber or pressurewashhelp.com/housecallpro and get like a 14-day free trial out of either one of those. Another one I just seen at GIE, I've heard of them. I don't know how well they are. It's called Service Autopilot. I'm going to try to look at them and see how they are. Again, here's what I'm going to tell you. Pick one and stick with it for a little bit. You can always change it later. Yes, it's going to be a nightmare to change it later. But if we're not picking those customers and we're not keeping track of them, there's no way that we can get back to those customers. So it is important that we keep a CRM so that way all our customer information is there, and that way when we go to do an autoresponder, we got their emails in the spring every year. We can do we can do through Twilio of sending a message out to them. We can do a voice bomb to them. There's all different kinds of things that when we have that information, if we have all their emails, we can put them in a Facebook and send a Facebook ad to them. We could put them in a Facebook ad and do a lookalike audience. So people that look like these that we know that are customers, now they're going to do a lookalike audience. And so there's a lot of things that we can do with that information. If we don't have that information of those customers, there's not a lot we can do with it, right? If we have nothing, well, guess what? We have nothing. But if we have all this information, now we can do all these different things to help us keep getting customers. You know, the best customer to get is a customer that we've already had. They already know that you do great work. They already love you. They already know that you're good. So they will use you again. They know that you're a small business. They know that they're helping you out and your family. And so when they do that, that's the reason and the importance of having a CRM, a customer relationship management thing. Jason, got a question. Let me know when I can ask. All right, you can ask, but it's going to be way down through here. What up, Jason? ATC. Let's see. Hey, boys. Valley Pro here. Indiana, get that money up. Be profitable. 100%, man. I don't like seeing people not being profitable. We got Mr. George big time. 15% sales tax in Canada. Well, you got to pay for that health insurance one way or another. That free health insurance. Commercial jobs here in Florida, 6% plus 1% surcharge for certain counties. 15%, wow. Had 2 customers tell me it was cheaper last year. Just got their deposits. Well, guess what? It's okay. And that's the thing, guys. You know, sometimes we think, oh, we're going to go cheap trying to get in business. You know, but then you got to fire those customers next year because they don't want to pay that up deal. So that is a hard thing you got to overcome. Inflation so far went up 6% across the United States. Let that sink in. When I was talking cheap jobs, I was taking cheap jobs, I was losing out on getting the big jobs, the big 2,000 single house jobs. Landed my biggest residential ticket today. High five, Cincinnati Softwatch. How much was it? Hell yeah, life changing. I will take $1,000 a day, all day, every day. It can be done, even if your dog's tired from the firehouse. Yep. Mr. Truth Seeker, how you doing tonight? Long time no see, Charles said to you. The most important equipment is to get the phone to ring. You know, this is it is so true. And I know I'm kind of going through these because I'm doing this, but this is so true, man. This is what will make this, you know, Jason is getting $2,000. He got one the other day. I think his day was $2,500. I'm telling you guys, he don't have the nicest equipment. He has a little cheap 8 gallon a minute with the little motor, and he has a nice rig. I'm not saying that, but it's not that's what grows your business, guys. That is not what grows it. I'm telling you, that is not what grows your business. What grows it is him out there doing them 5 rounds on every job, even when it's 110 in Florida, and he's still on the last day. He's still going out on that, doing them 5 rounds, putting signs out at 4 o'clock in the morning before he goes to the firehouse, going and sending a Facebook ad, doing Facebook and doing LinkedIn and spending that time. And I know his wife helps him, but if your wife ain't helping you, them are things that you got to do. You have to do those things. You know, these are some things that you have to do to be able to keep it going. Hey, Wild West, it's been crazy busy around these parts. I've been missing a ton of YouTube. That's awesome, Truth Seeker. That means you're making money. I am in a bad situation in Canada, dealing with the extreme drought, or California. I don't know if that's California. Not working at all. There is water restriction here. Well, move to Florida or Texas or somewhere else. Jason is clean. Crap equipment may take a little bit longer, but it will get it done. I hand jacked my hoses for a long time. Hey, Wild West, we got some Texas boys in the house. Facebook is changing fast. Just renamed, coming soon. ASAP. Yeah, who knows? And that's the thing. You know, you don't know what's going to come. You know, and yes, I know there's doom and gloom and all that crap, but you got to do your business like it's your business. You can't, don't get caught up too much in doom and gloom, because doom and gloom, I mean, could it happen? Yes, it could happen anytime. I'm not disagreeing. And you got to be ready if it does happen. But you got to also keep pushing, keep going, keep doing the things you need to do. What up, Nathan? Facebook, should I promote on personal or business account? So, on your personal, it's going to get out more. On your business account, they want money. So if you want it out on money, I want to hit on another thing, because I see this a lot, and this drives me batty. I'll see a lot of times that people will be like, hey, go like my Facebook, especially in the pressure washing groups. When it happens, I'm ready to smack whoever's doing it. And everybody usually does it. But they're like, in the pressure washing groups, they're like, hey, let's change businesses and let's like each other businesses. That is the dumbest thing you can do. Let me say that again. Do not send out your Facebook pressure washing group page or pressure washing business page into Facebook pressure washing groups and say, like my page. That is the dumbest thing you can do. Those are not your customers. And so if you send a picture out, or if you do something on your Facebook page, it's going to go to 100 pressure washers and not one of your customers. That is the dumbest thing you can do. The best thing you can do is go kick all them off of you. I don't know if you can or not, but unfriend them or unlike them off of your page. So that way, if your customers like your page, they're going to be the ones seeing that. Got this gutter tool that hooks to extension pool, saves a lot of time. Yes, they do. You can carry business loses up to 3 years. Yeah, business losses up to 3 years. I did a sign a few weeks ago and got a good return on them. They work. They're amazing. Does anyone do a payment plan? Where would you take a 35 to 50% down payment and a balance over the next 3 to 6 months with a signed contract? I know a lot of people that do this for like gutter cleanings, and if you did Christmas, I know somebody did it for Christmas lights, and by the time it got there, it was time to be paid. Business is business and personal is friends. Don't mix the two. Do not watch TV. Rot your brain. I have not watched TV in 8 years. I have probably been longer than that. Marketing is great, but make sure to follow up with excellent work and the word travels. Word of mouth is free and the best marketing. There is no perfect CRM. The worst one is one you don't use. And that's the other thing. With a CRM, if you don't put the information in it, it's not going to do you no good. So it is important to make sure that you're putting all the information into that CRM. If you don't put the information in there, it does you no good. Customers love when you do good work. I've been getting lots of customers booking 6 months out. And here's the thing about that. It's even better if they love it so much. Make sure they're giving you those 5-star reviews. Those 5-star reviews are really, really important. Is there a good free CRM? Yard Books is free. You can use Yard Books. DJ's been using it for about a year. You do got to do some duplicate stuff to get it to work, but Yard Books is actually a free one that you can use, and it keeps the information at least. At least you can get their name, email address, all that stuff. I never rush my work. My CRM is a bookkeeper. It does everything all the way down to payroll. Yeah, but here's the thing about that too. Does it send out the emails? Does it send out the email saying you're coming? Does it send out the text saying you're coming? Does it send out an email saying that it is for your 5-star review? There's a lot of things out there that goes along with it. Does anybody know around what PSI you use at the top using a downstream injector? I don't understand that question 100%. Jobber. Use Google Calendar for bookings. I did that for a long time. Jobber looks great. I just don't have the volume yet. And that's the thing, you got to remember that. Use something like Yard Books that is free. That is the way you're at least keeping all that information. I know. I've lost his name. It just went poof, gone. From Illinois pressure washing. He's got little books of 2 years worth of contacts. It's like you're never going to get those 2 years of contacts in a CRM. You're losing money by trying to do it this way. So make sure you're doing that. Thumbs up. Gonna get Jug of that Eliminator next. Service Autopilot is supposed to be really good. Yeah, it's a little bit more than Jobber. Jobber's best one is about $250. I think it's like $260. So it is not cheap, and that's a month. So Simple Cherry is really not that bad. I'm stuck on Apple Mart. Mr. H2 Improvement. I've got Joyce for my CRM, but I'm about to do $1 million in Christmas lights, so I need to upgrade to perhaps Jobber. If you do $1 million in Christmas lights, I will bring you something. I don't know what it'll be, but I'll bring you something. I'll drive all the way to where you were at and bring you something. And I like the smell. It dissolves good. Help me understand SH. For example, 1 gallon of 6% SH plus 1 gallon equals 3%. But how do you know how much pressure water cuts your SH? I have a 4 gallon C at 3. So it depends on your downstream injector. And you can do some tests. I've actually ran a bunch of tests. I haven't got the video out about it, but I ran a bunch of tests on how much it's pulling. For 8 gallon versus 4 gallon, you'll pull more soap out of a 4 gallon than you will an 8 gallon. And so most downstream injectors are going to be about 8 to 10 to 1. So if you got 1 gallon of bleach, it's going to pull 10 gallons of water. So every 10 gallons of water will be 1 gallon of bleach or solution, whatever you're using. And so, for instance, your little description there, is 3%. Well, let's go 12% because it's easier. If we did 12% and we did 1 gallon of 12% and 1 gallon of water, that would be the 6%. And now we drop that, we'd cut that by 10. Or let's just say we don't cut it at all. Let's just say we got 10. Let's just go so easy math, 12%. We don't cut it at all. And we do a 10 to 1. That's going to put us at 1.2%. And that's straight. So that's the easiest way to understand that. I hope that makes sense. Hope that was clear as mud. I'm going to have to raise prices. Just saying. I know you're going to make that $1 million in Christmas lights. I've been running a Steel 600 for my starter rig. What's a good price to start charging for concrete cleaning? I like to see around that 30 cents per square foot. 25 to 30 cents per square foot is a good start to be at. If we're talking tens of thousands of square feet or, a lot of concrete, not just your normal 2 driveway or something like that, but I'm talking a lot of concrete. We can come down to 20 cents, and some people go all the way down to 10 cents. I do not recommend that at all. If that's where you can be at. If you're at that 30 cents, you're going to be profitable. You're going to be about that 300. If you're at 30 cents, you're going to be about $300 an hour is where you'll be at. Or you can be 65 cents a square foot. That works out too. Actually, I'm going to hit. I'm not going to go down that road. Jason in the house. Just seeing this, going to have to raise my prices too. My SH raised today for the 4th time in 5 months. That's what I mean. Everything is going up. Literally everything is going up. So I filled up my truck the other day, and I had 2 5-gallon containers. So it'd be like if you have your pressure washers, 2 5-gallon containers, and it cost me $100 in gas in Kentucky. So, everything is going up. You're going to have to raise your prices to stay in the game. If you want to go out of business, then you just keep them right where you are. Got my first yes for Christmas lights today. That's awesome. High five. Great success. You get one, you can get 101. Question. I have about 2 miles of fence to soft wash. Half has, I actually answered this question somewhere, wherever you asked it, but you asked it somewhere else, and I did put something in there. Oh, it was in the group. So I would do a test spot on that galvanized. I would do a test spot just to make sure it don't turn it black, because sometimes the galvanized, there is a certain type of galvanized that will turn black and it won't come back. And so I would do a test spot, make sure that's fine. And then you only have 100 gallons worth of water. So, I have about 2 miles of vinyl fence. Half has corrosion. Best way to clean that. So as long as you are cleaning that fence off with water, you should be fine with the galvanized. You're probably going to want to use it's tough because where you don't have a lot of water and you got 2 miles of it, that's a long way. You would probably be about, I don't know, I would probably go, how long is it going to take me? Because I was going to say $1 a foot, but that's $10,000. Nobody's going to pay no $10,000. I would see how long is it going to take you and figure out that, and then just do it by $300. If it's going to take you a week, you're at $3,000. I'm not $3,000. You're at a lot of money. So either which way, 2 miles with no water is going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. That might be something that you look at renting a water truck, or, see if somebody with a water truck can bring you water, and then just feed it or something along those lines, and then just charge that out, because that's going to be a lot of where you only got 100 gallons. That's where your issues is going to run into you. Man, Jason, this guy named Al who washes flipped out on me on YouTube the other day. I actually talked to old Al today. He's just an old bastard, and he's just that way. He's grumpy. I give him a lot of crap, but I love. Oh, that I know what it was, and I hope you're not on here. If you are, I'm hoping. I thank you, Nathan, for letting me get this story out. So I called Al today because there was a guy that Benjamin's the one that's got this big contract up in Ohio, and it's almost 200,000. It's like 170,000. It's a lot. And there's this guy that comes up on the job with his 4 gallon a minute that he's proud of, and his little trailer that he's proud of, and I'm proud of him too. I'm not bashing him at all, but this is where I'm gonna get to the knocking him on the head a little bit. He's like, I'll come work all day for you, helping you pressure wash and bring my rig and pressure wash with it for $300 a day. So I called old Al up, and I'm like, Al, was you the dude that went and talked to Benjamin and going to pressure wash all day? I knew what he was going to tell me. Well, hell no, I don't even get out of bed for that. And so I got him riled up a little bit because I love to rile him up. It doesn't take a whole lot. He's like a loose cannon, but that's what makes Al fun. And so, I poke at him all the time. I like poking at people, the people that I know that it's not going to hurt their feelings too much. And he's one that I like to poke at. He pokes back. I did block him off my channel for a while because he started poking a little too much at my people that I had on, and I couldn't have that, so I blocked him. I haven't seen him on in a while on in here. I know he watches my stuff, but Al is Al. He's just old. He's an old coach, and he's just Al. That's all I can say about him. He does well in Dayton. He's going to do over. Over 100. I think he's over 150 this year. I know he's over 100,000 this year in pressure washing. Let's see. H2O Jobber is great. PressureWashHelp.com/jobber gives me. It helps support me. It doesn't cost you anything else. It gives you 14 days free, I believe it is. What's the least you'd charge for the smallest house you could think of, like a single studio resident, for example? $300, $279. You know, I say that I did do some one sides for like $250, but that was literally one side. It'd take me 15 minutes, but that was at $250, and that was 3 years ago. So prices go up. I block all other pressure washers. They don't need to see what I do. They aren't my customers anyway. Yep. Hey, Jason. I'm Jason with Ugly Green Power. I've been listening to you every day for the last 2 months. Oh, my. You've got to be tired of listening to me. I joined your membership about 2 weeks ago. I've learned so much. I will be successful. I love the positive attitude. Let me know. Awesome. I've got something up my sleeve. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but we're going to see what goes. I don't want to be the cheapest guy in town. I don't either. I want to be the most expensive one. And you're going to help me. I will help you in any way I can, Jason. Thanks, Jason. Have an 11,000 square foot house. What's the price for that house? $99. That's probably, I mean, that might be a day's job. You know, that's a $2,000-$3,000 house probably. Without looking at it, is it stucco? Is it vinyl? You know, there's a lot of factors. Is it 1 story? Is it 2 story? You know, a 7,000 2-story house is going to take you half the time as a 7,000 1-story house. Another money bush. Run before the firehouse tomorrow. Keep that phone ringing. So if you want to go get some money bushes, you can go to pressurewashhelp.com/ nope, that's the wrong one. That's Christmas lights. We ain't talking about no Christmas lights. Moneybushes.com. Moneybushes.com. And you can get you some money bushes. We like money bushes. Yard signs. What's up, everyone? I haven't seen you on here in a while, Jason. Did you and old Greg get that job done that he had to tow his truck to? Figure out how much time it will take, then price it away. What's standard pricing for window cleaning? I have no idea. I do not do it and do not want to do it. I do exterior cleaning only. If you can master follow-up, you can be bad at all other parts of the sales cycle. That is true. Follow-up is key. How many people follow up? How many people don't follow up? A lot of people don't follow up. I'll answer that one. Hi, I just came on board. I do lots of work, but would like to start in this line of work. Where can I go to price work out? Start it from the beginning of this video. Jason, charge enough to where you can tow your truck both ways and still make money at Townsend. Hey, that's the important thing, man. You make enough money that you got to tow your truck there and back because it's 3 weeks or 4 weeks before they can work on it. I tried to factor in things more time. My day off last said here. You guys talking back and forth to each other now. What's the one thing I'm trying to get done as well? Oh, yes, he's talking back and forth. Jason, when doing a quote on a job, whether it may be a roof wash, house wash, or driveway, is it better to quote in person or over the phone? Great question. Should I quote in person or over the phone? Some of it's going to depend on a couple things. How busy are you? Do you like to talk to people in front of each other? How big is your service area? My service area, I was an hour north, an hour south. There's no way I could go do them. I did all my quotes in person. I know people that do all their quotes online or in person. I know people that do it. I know both ways. If you go in person, there's a better chance that you're going to get a higher ticket. There's a better chance that you're going to get a higher close rate. So there's two ways to combat that. And this is what I did. I get more leads, and I don't need those other people. I don't need that higher ticket. I'm going to get more leads, close more jobs, have a high ticket, and I'm still going to make just as much money, and I'm not paying somebody. And here's the thing that a lot of people forget. The time it takes you. Now, if you have a small service area, like I know guys that have a 15-mile service area from their house. The dude that has $1 million, his service area is literally 10 minutes, and he's doing $1 million in a 10-minute service area. Well, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I'm probably going to go to every house and do that. But if I got to drive an hour north up there to look at it and drive all the way back, then that's not worth it to me. So just think about your service area. If you like to go talk to people, I don't like talking to people. I used to not. I don't mind it anymore. I didn't like talking to customers face to face. Wasn't me. And so that's how I combated that. So there's two ways of trains of thought of I either get more leads or I'm going to go do a lot of time traveling. And you got to remember, every time, all that travel and all that windshield time, you're not making money going to people's houses. Here's the other thing. Here's another pro. So if you got me to get you a quote and I'm doing it in person, especially if I have an office girl, she can have you a quote within 10, 15 minutes. It's going to take you the next day, the next week before you can get up to that person's house and talk to them. With all the problems this year, we still have done $150,000 from January 1 to today. We are going to knock out $200,000, or we are going to knock on the door of $200,000. And this is a part-time job for Jason. He has a full-time job as a fireman. Actually, not just a fireman, because firemen a lot of times get to sleep at night. As a paramedic on an ambulance, a buggy. So they don't usually get to sleep all night. So, and he don't work a lot on Saturdays and Sundays. He does probably marketing and stuff like that because I know how things go. But he does not do cleaning on those days. So he usually only works about 3 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week. The average would probably be 3 days a week is what he's working to do that. Now, there's a lot you can do on the job sometimes. Some places you can, some places you can't. Thank you, Jim. Lives in Brave. You know what's up. And this can happen. I've had a customer tell me my price was low, and it was actually a fair price. Fair to who? Fair to you? You're not your customer. Do you live in the house that you're going to clean? If your answer is no, then you're not your customer. So fair to who? That's what you got to remember. Sean, is there any good reason to adjust a downstream injector? Why do they even exist? No, there's not. And I didn't get back to you with the Facebook message yet. I don't know if Monday's going to work or not. I might have a job. I might be doing a bunch of work. If not, I will be available, but I'm not 100% on that yet. Yes, the XJet does make your thing then. Holy cow. Around my area, North Carolina people sometime balk at it, 15 cents a square foot. Well, I got people around here balk about it, but I don't worry about it. Those are not my customers. I look for the people that will pay me. Them are the customers I want. I don't want the cheap customers. There is a reason why there's a $99 guy, because that's where people go. That would be like Chick-fil-A worrying about McDonald's, because McDonald's is cheaper than Chick-fil-A. But, you also got the high-end steakhouses. You also have, the $100 steak versus the steak at Applebee's. you know, you got to have people go to Applebee's and buy the steak. You're also going to go people buy the $100 steak. Why is that? Because there's two different types of customers. I want the $100 customer. I don't want the cheap customer. I do 3 gallons of SH and 2 gallons of water, 2 ounces of Eliminator. Working on a large project proposal, 160,000 square feet, 6-level parking garage. We will see. Water source and runoff are a costly component of the job. And that's the thing that you got to make sure that you're looking at. My SH prices have stayed a flat for 3 years. You know, you're saying that a lot of SHs went up by quite a bit up here. How do you know how much square foot is a driveway or a house? Do you ask the customer to provide that information? No, I use either, you can use for like driveways, if you use Google Earth or Google, even a lot of times, I think you can do it on your phone. And you can actually measure it out and get the square footage of that way. That's how I usually do driveways. Houses, I'm going to just look up Zillow or that or any of that, and it's going to tell me the square footage. Now, that's the living square footage. If you go off of how much actual square footage of the house, so I have a guy local to me, he actually does how much the actual square footage is. So he measures the outside of the house, outside the perimeter, if it's 1 story, 2 stories, and times it by 2, and that's what he goes off of. Because, you know, if we look at a 2-story house and we don't take the 600 square foot garage off, you know, that's another 600 square feet that we're cleaning or charging. And so those are some ways that you can look at that. I just started my pressure washing business with a 4-gallon starter kit. I have everything except how can I practice being effective and best practice the quickest. Go to your mama's house. Actually, you can do a couple things. Do other people's houses. Obviously, you want to get paid jobs, but if you don't have paid jobs, find a cause. Find a cause that you believe in. Find a cause that might affect you. You know, if you're a veteran and you want to help wounded warriors, you can go and ask somebody, go ask on your Facebook, hey, I'm looking to get more experience. I'm looking for wounded warriors. If I have any friends that or know any friends of that, I'm willing to go clean their house for them. That's one way to do it. You know, another way to do it that I always say do a free house, but we don't want to do the trailer park. We want to go to the big houses and do the big houses because it's not just about how to pressure wash. We want to get all the photos. We want to get more photos. We want to get more photos. We want to get video of that house. So that way we can put this in our Google My Business. We can put this in Facebook. We can put this in all the places that's going to help us grow our business. So yes, you might be scared to death to go do a big house, but if you can go do a big house, it will help you in the end. And so you do your house first, and then you go do the next house, and you just do it. It's going to be scary. It's going to be challenging, but that's what you got to do. Hey, Jason, what is the best safe product to remove paint? All kinds off vinyl. So I used to use, I don't know, it depends on how much paint you're talking. If you're talking a lot, then I would say pass. But if you're just talking, I used to use Super Clean. Super Clean gets like around decks whenever we get overspray on decks, or even if other people got overspray on decks and they did a crappy job spraying the deck and they wouldn't do nothing. And Super Clean will actually clean. You can get it at Walmart, Super Clean, and it will actually clean that vinyl wall. It'll clean the paint off that vinyl. Favorite product to use on oxidation hardy plank? Run. Nothing. And how to charge for that? Do you still do nothing with that? Nothing. You will screw that up. I'm just telling you, you will make a mess of it. And hardy board, you're going to be painting that house, ain't going to be cheap on you. Do not try to remove oxidation off of hardy plank. I mean, you can, and good luck. But just think and remember that I told you what I just said there. Any marketing device? Yeah. Get your Google My Business. Get your 100 pictures up there. Get your 5-star reviews. Post on it. Facebook, post there. Post. Get that algorithm coming. Don't just post about pressure washing. Post about everything, so that way that algorithm comes. Questions are a good thing to post. What's your favorite restaurant in this city? Blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. All that. Post some more. Get your Google My Business. If you don't have a website, you can use the Google My Business website. All that stuff. You guys been asking a lot of questions tonight. Is it better to quote in person or over the phone? I answered that up above. It's better. It's up to you. I did it over the phone. I know it's off topic with Christmas lights. Would an $1,800 job account for what it takes to buy their lights? Then you collect what's left. I know it's off topic with Christmas lights. Would an $1,800 job account for what it takes to buy their lights? I wouldn't buy their lights. I don't know what you're asking there 100%. I try to get to your all's questions, but good question. How do you mix SH with surfactant, water, driveway, house? With the drive, a lot of people I know, especially if it's getting cold, just go straight and then you downstream it. And then you put an ounce or half an ounce of surfactant in it per gallon. I'm not tired of you, buddy. Hell, you're going to make me rich. Now my wife might be tired. That's funny because a lot of people's like, I'm so sick and tired of his voice. It's usually the wife that says that. He had to tow his truck to the site, made money. So, yep, he did. He missed a cycle, missed a cylinder. Charged $5.50 per side of glass for cleaning. But understand they have to be perfect or you will lose. From Australia, across the pond, eh? It's awesome. Jason, how much do you charge to set up Google Ads? It is $7.99. And that's if you want Christmas lights and pressure washing, I'll do both of them. In my area, I literally have hundreds of houses, but can't put out signs or put on poles. Go figure. Yeah, it happens sometimes. I'm working under a family business right now, mainly doing painting and carpentry. Would it be smart to branch off and start a new business or stay under the business with thousands of existing clients? That's a tough one. Even if you did it depends. You could. You can still use those clients even if you could send an email out to all those clients if you have that information of saying, hey, this is the family business. We do offer pressure washing. Is this pre-recorded? No, it is not pre-recorded. Will all vinyl siding give enough time to get oxidation? Will all vinyl siding give? Yes, probably. Superman, no, he's live. He doesn't get to every question right away. Gotta wait. You guys asked a lot of questions tonight. I don't even know how far we're getting down to the bottom. I'm after my hour too. Accumulator tank for soft washing system, yay or nay? You don't need one. I had one on one and it don't make that much of a difference, man. You don't need it. I'm putting a budget soft wash together and was wondering how big of a chemical tank I would need to do a roof, given the roof is 3,000 square foot average. You're probably going to need about 50 gallons. So 55 gallon drum will work. You could do 100 gallon. Just remember, don't go no more than 100 because if you're going to batch mix, you're going to need probably about 100. If you're going to just use a mixer valve, you could probably get less than that. The country property appraiser has the square foot listed. Yeah, that's another good point, Pink Robin. If you go to Zillow, If you like type in the address and Zillow comes up, and you go to the bottom of it, it'll actually give you some places will. It'll give you the tax, what's it called, PVA, the property of PVA, and then from there it will give you all the information. Like the Hamilton County, which is Cincinnati, like it'll give you the exact dimensions. It'll give you the size of the deck. It'll give you the size of the barn in the back. It'll give you everything. I saw a excuse me. I saw a previous video where you built a rig for with the 2,500 GPM 5-gallon PSI. Enough for, yes, it is. You can use 200 feet of hose on it. It'll be fine. It's not about pressure. It's about GPM. I do 30 cents a square foot. Sometimes I'm 45 just to mess around. You know, hey, that's not a bad thing. Does the sunny side of a house get oxidized first? Most of the time, or is it? No, it's the sun. The sun that's what's getting the oxidation. It's breaking down to the paint. Usually the north side will be fine. That's why the north side is fine and the south side is not. I take about 30 pictures of before and about 15 to 20 during the work and another 30 after. Yep, and that works good. I just eyeball it from making $17.50 an hour. It's impossible to undercharge a driveway to pressure wash. I'm going to leave that one alone. Jason, when pricing a commercial building that is the same square foot as the house, is it best to have a fixed rate between 25 and 40 cents a square foot as you would a house? You're saying if it's like a commercial house is the same as, I mean, yeah. Because at that point it's just a house or something. Want to say thank you, Jason. You're really doing a lot for the community. Maybe you hear it a lot, but if you don't, thank you for making a difference. Well, thank you, Saul. QuickBooks is a good thing to use. I'm actually going to start using it myself personally. But QuickBooks is a good thing to use. It's good, especially if you have a tax person, because if you do have a CPA, they can get in, see your numbers, all that kind of stuff. There is a little bit of a learning curve. If you do have a CPA, they can get it for you cheaper than if you just buy it yourself. So they can help you get that a little bit cheaper. Hey, Jason, I've been in your group and I've never asked this. Is it $7.99? No, it's just a one-time fee. Because I'm not managing the ads. I'm just setting them up, show you how to work them, and then you manage your own. What do you think about putting your pricing on a billboard for marketing? Probably not. I never had luck on a billboard. If I'm starting with the 3,500, I'm straight. You don't need 3,500. I don't know what your question is, but you don't need 3,500. Can I downstream with a pressure washer and a downstream injector? Yes, 100%. And you can do everything with that. You can do concrete cleaning, house washing, deck cleaning, pool deck cleaning. You can clean everything with this right here except roofs. You won't be able to clean roofs. Hey, Jason, I put lots of photos on Google My Business. They're always out of order when you upload them. Do you know? No, I do not. So they follow exact order. I do not know how to do that. But make sure you're also naming those too. That's some things you need to do, not just upload them. What type of battery should I use for a 5.5-gallon soft wash machine? How often to recharge it? You want to use a 27 or a 29 series marine battery, or it's called a deep cycle battery, which is also called a marine battery. The 27 series or the 29 is how big it is. And so if you get the 27 or 29, you could probably go about 3 or 4 days running it pretty hard without charging it. I used a solar panel and then I never charged it. If you got it hooked up to a pressure washer that's got electric start, it will actually charge that battery up, and I never charge my battery. My pressure washer charged my battery for my soft wash. Thanks, I was thinking the same. On Christmas lights, how do you afford the lights for their house? Do they give you the So we sell we make them put a 50% down payment, and then at the day after we get the job installed, they give us the next 50%. That's how we get our payment done. What do you think? What do you do when you get a call because Christmas lights aren't working properly? For instance, they call Christmas Eve, but you installed the lights 3 weeks ago. You go fix them. That's why you use quality stuff, and that's why you use quality materials, so that way that don't happen. No, please, Saul, please call him. Please tell me your business name is Better Call Saul. License before you do any jobs, and insurance, yes or no to start out. Insurance is a good idea, especially if you have things that could be assets that you could screw up and lose. License, that's not a big deal. That's all the tax crap. So if you need money, you can get it going. Let's see. When X-jetting, if I use straight 12.5% out of a 5-gallon bucket, what will be the chemical percentage I'm spraying? Depends. Just what you wanted to hear, wasn't it? It depends on what size machine you got. If you got a 4-gallon a minute machine, if you got a 5.5 gallon a minute machine, if you got an 8-gallon a minute machine. If you got a 4-gallon a minute machine, you're about 3 to 1. If you got 8-gallon machine, you're like 6 to 1. If you're down to 2 gallons a minute, you're 50-50. So that's why it depends on how much hose you have. It depends on how many gallons you're flowing. It depends on how much pressure you're pushing. So those are the factors that you got to remember. But on a general rule, if you go to 4 to 1 and you're at 12%, that's going to get you to 3% is where you'll be at. So you can be at about 3 or 4%. Is there any way of washing a roof with the pressure washer itself without having a soft wash if possible? No. You could use an X-Jet, like I was saying with there where you're about that, but no. But, if you don't have it, you could use a pump-up sprayer. Put 2 gallons of bleach put a gallon of SH and a gallon of water and pump-up sprayer it. Go get I did that video last week of how to build one for under $500. And you could actually build it less than that. You could probably, if you wanted to go bare bones and go really cheap, you could probably build one for about $250 pretty easy. And if you're charging, our minimum for a roof clean was $600. So you could build your first roof clean pump and chemicals and everything, and it would pay for it, and you would be on profit right out of the get-go. What the hell is that dog think bug? Just dropped on me. Anyway, if you want to go check out pressurewashhelp.com/free, I'm going to have some cool stuff coming. I got to make a decision on what I'm going to do with it, and how I'm going to charge it, all of that kind of stuff. But right now, if you get in, you can get 30 days free, or you can go check out anything. I'm going to also put this video up on my blog, so if anybody wants to go see it, I wrote out some stuff below it. I'm going to start putting more stuff on my blog, kingofpressurewash.com/blog. So if you want to go there, you can check it out. I got all my podcasts on there. I'm going to start putting some more of these videos on there. I'm going to start doing more of that kind of stuff. I'm going to put stuff that will help you grow your business. I put my one of how to build a pressure washer under $500 or a soft wash system under $500 on there. So go check out King of Pressure Washing/blog. You can, when you go in there, I got all the parts list. I got the place that you can buy everything, the whole 9 yards. So it's got everything you need to know. I'm going to start putting a lot more on the blog, and so that way you can find stuff there. I know I got stuff here, there, and everywhere. I also have a podcast. You can go check that out at kingofpressurewash.com/podcast. I put it out every Tuesday. And so it helps me out. If you go on there and give me a review, I'd appreciate it very much. And so those are some things that you can do. I had a pressure washing gig at Dodge dealership, just washing the bays with a bit of degreaser and a surface cleaner. Was paid decent, but it fell out after about 6 weeks. So go get more jobs, go get more houses, go get more, all that good stuff. So pressure washing, my goal is to help you guys make sure that you get time freedom, financial freedom, and to be able to do things that you wouldn't normally be able to do, and that's my goal. Saw a guy last week with 28-inch surface cleaner with 4-gallon minute machine. He's probably still there. You're probably right, or has lots of tiger stripes. Hope you all have a great night. Hope you all have a great weekend. I'll be back here on Sunday night, so come back and learn some more. Hope you all have a great weekend. Stay safe.